Hey, I'm Colton Lindsay with the Dozer Academy. Welcome to today's training. I'm going to teach you and talk to you today about cash flow for profit. Early in my business, when I started having some success, I was making multiple six figures, I started paying attention to other business owners. If you haven't started doing that already, definitely make sure that you're looking and seeing what other business owners are doing. As part of this journey, I would show up at masterminds, live events, I'd start networking with these realtors, and I noticed that I observed one thing in common with many of them, is that they said this phrase: they were investing all of their profits back into their business. At the time, I thought it sounded a bit crazy. Today, I realize no, it's not that you're investing all of your money back into your business, all your profits back into your business, it's you're not managing your expenses. And what I realized is I was in business for one reason, and I bet you are as well. It's for profit. It's to create a lifestyle so that you can grow, you can expand, you can take care of your family, you can create an even better future for you and whatever it is that your purpose is. But what I learned is it was required through cash flow management. How I first discovered is I read this book, and I recommend you check it out. It's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That's where I first discovered cash flow management. That if I can't manage $1, I'm never going to be able to manage $1 million. So as I went to all these events and all these people were talking about how many deals they're doing, how much revenue they're doing, their GCI, when we looked at their bottom lines, they weren't making any profit. And so I became aware that it's because how they manage their expenses, how they manage their cash flow. I since then have discovered another book I highly recommend you check out as well. It's called Profit First. Now, the thing that Secrets of the Millionaire Mind and Profit First have in common is it teaches you step by step how to manage every dollar you earn for profit, for growth, so you can create what I call financial freedom. So let's take a look about financial freedom. I want you to think about, you got into the real estate business, whether you were a single agent or you have a team now, which I recommend you definitely start creating, or even if you have your brokerage. You got in for more time freedom and more money freedom, which I look at as financial freedom. I want to share with you my definition of financial freedom. It's where your leveraged residual income, your money that pays you over and over again, with you out having to work your ass off all the time, it pays for your desired lifestyle. So let me just sum that up. It's where your leveraged residual income, or your passive income, pays for your desired lifestyle. If we look at that as the definition and we want to create that outcome where whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20 or 50 or $100,000 a month that comes in residually every single month. So you work because you choose to, not because you have to. You've got to get great in two different areas. So the first area is actually what we've already talked about a little bit. It's cash flow management. This is where you become an excellent money manager. You become a steward over your finances and eventually your investments. Because let's get real for a second. It's your money. It's your future. It's your destiny. Become excellent with money. Now, there's a couple of different money personality types. One of them is an avoider and another one is a spender. And these two people, you might be one of them, they tend to avoid dealing with cash flow management and they spend out of control. So they might even be making lots of money, but they ain't keeping lots of money. And your objective to be in business is about profits, about profitability, so you can move those profits into vehicles and assets that pay you over and over again. An asset is what pays money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. So we have to get really clear on managing the cash flow to get investments. I'm going to teach you a simple system in just a second. But the second part to creating financial freedom is tax-free wealth, where you're spending more money on pre-tax dollars so that you're giving less money to the government, which, by the way, the government does not spend it really well. Just take a look at every freaking government today. They're wasting money left and right. We have a huge deficit. We have huge debt loads. And what we got to be able to do is get so great at knowing the tax-free wealth plan, which is known as a tax incentive or tax law. The government wants us spending money a specific way because that's what stimulates the economy. When you get great at spending it that way, guess what? You get more money. You get more wealth. You create more financial freedom. You own more assets. Will continue to put money into your bank account every single day when you're awake and when you're asleep. And ultimately, that's why you got into real estate. More financial freedom. So let's take a look, and I want to break down a simple cash flow management system. Now, two great books you can read is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and the other is Profit First. They will really help you with these. They're very similar books. First one that we teach inside of the WJR Mastermind that we focus on over and over again is the FFA account, or it's called the Financial Freedom Account. Financial Freedom Account is where you put money aside so you can buy real estate, you can buy stocks, you can buy Bitcoin. You can invest it into some investment that's going to pay you interest. You become the bank, and people are paying you interest over and over again. Got it? However, we've been trained in SocialScape today that we are borrowing money and we're getting liabilities and we're paying interest to other people. The worst mistake that people do is they don't take this money out and they always are putting this money back into their business, and they might be growing their gross revenue, but they're shrinking their profits. They're not growing their leveraged residual income. They're keeping a job. They're keeping to where if they don't work, they lose that revenue. We want to create it to where you actually can slow down as far as having to be working all the time, get more into a creative state, and have money flowing in no matter what. The second bucket that we're going to talk about is called long-term savings for spending. This is for a medical emergency. It's where you're saving money for a big trip or a car or down payment or something cool in your life that you want to save for and go create. What most people do, though, is they end up taking money from their financial freedom account and they invest it in a trip or a new car or a down payment on their personal house, which, by the way, is a liability because it takes money out of your pocket, and they never get the financial freedom growth. The third one is called the play account. This is a percentage of every dollar you earn. You have to spend it on yourself every single month because you want to create the behavior that you're celebrating your victories and that money is actually here to take care of you. But you want to do it with inside of a structured system so you don't become a spender and blow all of your money. The third is one of the most important. It's called the give account. This is where you're giving money to a cause that you believe and you support, because the more you give, the more you receive. But here's the caveat with this account is you have to be willing to give without an expectation of receiving something in return. The fourth account is what's called the necessities account, or in the book Profit First, the OpEx account, the operating account. This is the money that you need to operate your business, including your personal salary that pays for your home mortgage or your rent or your car payment or your groceries or just sustaining your current lifestyle, okay? This number is important because I recommend you get it to the point that it's 55 or 50% or less of all of your gross revenue, so you have money to put in all of these other accounts. Now, the first most important account is your FFA. The second most important account I'm going to go over now. It's called your education account. Education account is where you're putting money aside so that you can get involved in things like the WJR Mastermind, go to different training events, different paid webinars and coaching programs. There's a lot of free content out there, but it's worth what you pay for. You're only going to go so far with the free stuff. You need to get involved into a community. Everyone I know that's making over 7 figures and is financially free, according to what we've talked about today, they invest big time into their education account. So I'm going to recommend you get that set up, and that way when you have an opportunity to invest in coaching or training, there's no questions about it. You just pull the money aside and you invest in it. Now the last one, I like to call it the country donations, but it's really taxes. You have to pay a percentage into taxes. And where most realtors are messing up, it's 2 areas. One is they don't save at all, and so then they end up freaking out and delaying their taxes or extending or missing taxes all the general. I've worked with a lot of realtors like that where they were over $100,000 in back taxes or more. But the other one is they're taking too much to put towards taxes. If you're putting 30-40% of every dollar you earn into an account for taxes, and you're paying that much, it means you're messing up your tax-free wealth plan, which was the second piece that we had briefly talked about today. But you're gonna set that money aside so that every quarter your quarterly taxes are paid, your payroll taxes are paid, everything is on time so you don't have the government on your back. But you wanna do it in such a way that it's minimized and you're keeping more for your business and more for your lifestyle. So here's what I'm gonna recommend for you guys is just create a simple plan like this, and then you discover and massage what percentage or dollar amount. I recommend percentages go into each of these accounts. Use those resources I shared, which was Profit First and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, so you can start to create financial freedom. Here's what I want to talk to you about real quickly is you're wondering, well, Colton, you've done it in your life, but has anyone else done it? I want to talk to you about Colton Lindsay. She's one of my mastermind partners. I started talking with her and meeting with her about 3 years when she went through a program I was teaching at the time called Financial Freedom Nation. It's now part of the mastermind, and it's one of our major focuses. It's our second major focus. And when I first started with her, she had a bunch of credit card debt In fact, we have multiple members in our mastermind that started with a bunch of credit card debt, and we helped them get that paid off, but then they started a cash flow management system. And so if we fast forward 3 years with Kayla, in fact, when we started COVID-19, she called me, she said, Colton, I would have been devastated if I hadn't joined the mastermind, so I was psychologically prepared, but I'm financially prepared. In fact, now she's so smart through the process, she's got over $250,000 that she's able to use for investments with wholesales and fix and flips with inside of her real estate business. She's also a member of EXP, so she's building her downline, creating residual revenue there, and she's built out an amazing team that carries anywhere from 10 to 15 deals under contract, where most of those are her team members that are keeping it. So she's really developing financial freedom. But what's powerful is she did it in 3 short years, where she went from being almost always having to work to now she gets to work because she chooses to, and she's creative. Now she's using that $250,000 to make more money for herself, and she's not the only one. We've got Kevin Lagan out of Phoenix. He's doing the same exact thing, and it works over and over again. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do. If you want to scale that, if you want to create financial freedom for yourself, click the link down below. Fill out the questions for the application for the WGR Mastermind and have a 45-minute discussion with me to see if it's a fit for you and if we're a fit and you're a fit, so we can work together so you can create financial freedom. So click the link down below and apply for the WGR Mastermind. Get the questions filled out and let's at least have a conversation. I'll see you there.